Hello, class. This is Dr. Richard Furniss for Regis University, Computer and Information Systems, Course 448, IT Project Management. Today we're going to be talking about the meal plan, referencing, and Bloom's taxonomy. Let's start off with the meal plan. What is the meal plan? The meal plan is an opportunity for you to present your information in an individual paper or group assignment in a coherent manner. M stands for your main idea. This is your thesis sentence for your paragraph. This should help guide your reader as to why they're devoting time to reading the information that you're attempting to present or the stance that you're presenting. E stands for evidence, meaning the evidence that you're using to support your statement or stance, your thesis. This should be from primary sources, meaning seminal research, such as Harold Kersner in the project management field, Rita Mulcahy, and even Kathy Schwabel from our text in the course. This should support your main idea and help to provide the reader with a viewpoint alternative from your own at this stage of the discussion. A is an analysis of the evidence that you're presenting. This is your opportunity to provide your voice, to help the reader understand your point of view, and also to help them understand perhaps any alternative suggestions that you have that may contradict the seminal authors based upon current research or experience that you have in the field. L is the link, and the link provides you an opportunity to tie your paragraphs, your statements, your information together in a cohesive way so that it flows naturally from discussion point to discussion point. One thing that I see often in papers is discussion that starts off without any introduction. So you're almost in the middle of a conversation without having the benefit of the context of why that discussion is important. Now let's talk about referencing. In regard to referencing, there are three particular areas. There's primary referencing, as we've discussed, which is your seminal authors, those that have spent time researching, developing theorems, those sorts of things in the industry, and also have presented that material to peer-reviewed sources. So peers in their industry have looked at the research, they've looked at their information, and they've been able to either confirm the research findings or evaluate the information in such a way that it does pass the general common sense and sniff test. Secondary references would be things such as meta-analyses. A meta-analysis would be a presentation of a collection of different research and then the opinion of the author as to the validity of the presentation of that research or the discussion points or the stance that is being presented. Tertiary referencing would be things that are non-peer-reviewed, such as a Harvard Business Review, New York Times, perhaps a Newsweek article, or even Wikipedia. Those are all tertiary references, which may be a good starting point, but are certainly not something that you would want to include as a primary reference in your presentation or your individual assignment. Let's talk about APA style and formatting. This is a collection of some things that I've seen as an instructor at Regis University that hopefully you can avoid. In regard to APA styling, the use of first and second person is contrary to APA style and formatting. Use of pronouns such as I, think, or we, you, so on and so forth are examples of first or second person. When writing in APA style, you use a third person. Another topic is anthropomorphizing. It's a big word that essentially means giving life to inanimate objects. An example of that would be saying that the scope statement said, or the charter stated, where those are inanimate objects, obviously, and cannot have a voice. So properly wording your statements that reference back to a document or a paragraph or a diagram, for example, that does not add life to an inanimate object is an important consideration. When you are providing quotations within the body of your work, it's appropriate to always have a pagination for that quotation. Sometimes that can be difficult if you're quoting from an article that is from a website or something of that nature where there isn't a pagination. I encourage very much the use of paraphrasing, and that also helps to avoid any inadvertent plagiarism that may occur. When you paraphrase, you take the summary of information that you've gleaned from your primary resource, and you put it into words that are your own. And when you submit to a Turnitin, it will therefore have a lower hit rate, meaning the percent of pre-published material will be much lower. Another thing that I see often is incorrect documentation of your reference page. And that's exactly what it is. It's a reference page. It's not a citations page or a works cited page. It is a reference page. And within that page, you should have a hanging indent and single space within a particular reference and double space between references. For more information on that, see the APA 6 manual, section 7. Finally, let's talk about Bloom's taxonomy. What is Bloom's taxonomy? Bloom's taxonomy is an evaluation of the manner in which we gather information and then in turn are able to give that information back or through verbal or written means. For an example, a friend of mine recently taught me how to solve a Rubik's Cube. That may be easy for some people, but it took me a little while to learn it. And I progressed through the first 3 layers of this taxonomy, meaning at first I had to gain the knowledge, I had to learn the algorithms, and then once I understood how the algorithms flowed together, then I could actually apply that information. I could actually solve the Rubik's Cube. But I would often have to look at the picture that I had that depicted the particular algorithms that I needed to solve any given side or layer of the Rubik's Cube. I haven't progressed to the analysis, synthesis, or evaluation stages of solving a cube, meaning I can't really, at this point, determine a faster method or determine an alternative method altogether for being able to solve that. But I, at this point, can apply the information I've received so far. What I'm looking for as an instructor at Regis, and particular to your individual and your group project submissions, is work that comes in at the synthesis and evaluation level, meaning you take a look at all the available resources and references that you have, gather that information together, analyze the validity or the contradictory statements that you may feel are apparent based upon your personal experience or work in the field, and then create something that is uniquely your own, meaning that instead of this pure waterfall methodology or an agile methodology, perhaps there's a hybrid that is suitable for the particular situation, the scenario that you're in. I hope this information has helped you out and has provided a little bit of a clue as to how to get an excellent grade in Computer and Information Systems 448. If you do have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you very much for your time.